All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. So today we have some Ilia Topuria news, or as McGregor would say, Ilia Taptato, yeah? And yeah, a lot of people are on his case lately saying that, oh, you betrayed your coaches, oh, you betrayed the people who got you to the top, you wouldn't be anywhere without them, blah, 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 blah. And as per usual, a lot of people are giving their opinions on something they don't know much about because I'd say 99.9% of the people complaining have zero relationship with Ilia or his coaches. So, yeah, let's get into it. So, I guess this Spanish news outlet or whatever said that Topuria and the Clement brothers are parting on good terms. Their split is based on logistics more than anything else. And the quote is, the parties live in different cities and their multiple professional projects prevent them from collaborating in the same way they always have. He added that the Topuria brothers thank their former coaches for all the years of mutual learning and growth and sincerely wish them the best on all their projects. The one thing I'll say is that, like, multiple professional projects, I get that for Topuria and his brother and all that, but for us coaches, what would be more important than training probably one of the best upcoming generational fighters in the world for his second belt? To me, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but like I said, I don't have a relationship with Topuria or his coaches, so maybe it's for the best. I don't know, but if I'm Topuria, this fight is the biggest fight of his career. He's going against Charles Oliveira, the former lightweight champion. 5 rounds for the belt. I would like to have familiar faces around. I'd like to have some solid ground to stand on. And going in with a new team might not be the best idea, but what do I know? It is what it is. Topuria seems like far along his career, and he doesn't have many holes, if any. So, but that being said, having coaches is always a good thing, especially they seem to have a lot of chemistry, and every time Ilia Topuria fights, he's getting better. So clearly they're doing something right. And yeah, I guess we'll wait and see. And if Topuria loses, I guess a lot of fingers will be blamed or pointed at these guys in this decision. So it is what it is. I guess we'll find out in the future. But moving on. Recently, in the last few days, Gene Silva offered Charles Oliveira to step in and help him with sparring and training for his upcoming fight. And I mean, hey, I guess it's a fellow Brazilian looking out for another one, and it's very patriotic of him. And yeah, I think Gene Silva would be a really good addition for Charles Oliveira's camp because Gene Silva has so much power in his hands, just like Topuria, and he's probably around the similar size as Topuria as well. And it's a new mind, it's young energy, it's new opinions, and I get Shoot the Box has a lot of people there, and he has probably many good training partners, especially for Topuria, but still, I would take him up on this as well because Gene says, obviously this is translated into English, I'm available, I'm the same size as Topuria. If Charles wants to see or to use me as his sparring partner to do his training, I'm here. I know how to imitate Topuria perfectly. I even know his facial expressions. And that's the thing. Before Ilia Topuria moved up, I'm sure Gene Silva was having a very close eye on Topuria to prepare for when he fights for the belt. So now that Topuria's gone, I guess it's not an immediate title shot or an immediate fight, but still, I feel like that fight is definitely possible in the future, depending on how Gene Silva does in the top 5. But yeah, that would be a fight that I'm really excited to see because I've kind of given up on the Makhachev-Topuria fight. I feel like there's just too many hurdles to jump through to get that fight at this point because if Makhachev wins, then it's just going to be, oh, I'm going to stay at welterweight because there's no point of cutting back down. He's seen what Holloway did, and it was not a good decision. Not only that, I just think Makhachev doesn't really need to fight Topuria. I would love it, and it would probably be the biggest fight in UFC history, aside from McGregor and Khabib, because I don't think it'd be getting that dark, but still. Gene Silva, like I said, depending on how he does, his big personality, Topuria's big personality, they both have knockout power, they both have devastating finish rates, and to me, it would just be an amazing fight. So hopefully that gets done. But yeah, Oliveira should definitely consider having him in. But saying that, Gene Silva, he claims to want to help Oliveira, but what he just said on his YouTube channel would kind of go against that because, and maybe it's unintentional, but I guess Gene Silva, like I said, he's been studying Topuria for a while, and he has a big list of a lot of his alleged weaknesses that he thinks Topuria has. So this is what he says. Topuria has powerful hips, but when he throws a heavy hook, it often causes him to turn so much that he gives up his back. This happened multiple times in his fight with Bryce Mitchell. You can clearly see when Topuria is setting up his right straight. He pulls his right leg or his rear leg far back and hides it. His stance comes at very sideways. He throws a jab, takes a step back, his eyes look under his left arm, and then comes a small feint, some movement, and he fires his right straight. Even when he throws his right straight, it looks a lot more like an overhand. Silva went into further detail saying he often drops his hand on the same side he slips his head toward. It's a reflex. Even when he doesn't slip deep, just moves his head slightly. His hand goes down, and there are other moments where he forgets about defense entirely. And some in this article says some fans believe Silva has said too much publicly and should have kept things in-house if Oliveira wants to take him up on his offer to assist him during his training camp. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Topuria has a response if he sees Gene Silva's comments. And yeah, like I said, Topuria is always improving, and he probably knows a lot of these things that he does wrong, or allegedly wrong, but still. It's not a great look for Gene Silva to say that, but it is what it is. I guess we'll wait and see what comes of that fight. And yeah, like I said, if I'm Oliveira, 100% get Gene Silva in there because Gene Silva has such a bright future, and he seems like a very creative striker. So even if he can imitate Topuria perfectly, he can probably add a bit to Oliveira's striking game as well. Because Oliveira, he is really good on the striking, but I feel like Gene Silva can help him clean it up a bit more because he does get clipped in almost every high-level fight he's in and dropped. And that's the last place you want to be, is on the ground, on your back, after being rocked against Topuria, because he'll finish you, 100%. So, yeah, if I'm Oliveira, and I know it's not going to make a huge difference because he's only going to have limited time because International Fight Week's right around the corner, but still, I think it's a really good look. I think it's a really good idea. And hopefully, I'm sure Oliveira doesn't have a lot of ego. You know, he seems like a nice guy, but to allow someone else to come into their gym, I don't know if their gyms have any rivalry or anything. Like, I don't know about the layout in Brazil, but it is what it is. I think Oliveira can definitely learn a lot, and maybe Gene Silva can learn a lot from Oliveira too. I just feel like it would be mutually beneficial, and not only that, Gene Silva can see what Topuria is, or Oliveira is doing good and bad in the camp, and then once he fights him, he can be like, okay, when we fight Topuria, we'll not do this or not focus on this. And yeah, I think it's an all-around win-win-win-win. So yeah, those are my thoughts. And like and subscribe. See you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for watching.